Whoa, we are back. Pioneer Family Show. Man, it's not a commercial. It just chops us off and cuts us out. The internet on 2651 Bloomington is a big pile of cross between a darkening and a lightning system. It's a no system. It don't work. As we wait. So we're waiting people to come back on, and we don't know when it's going to cut us out. But you will. I definitely found that this harp beer gave me gas. That feeling. Which I'm not a big.
Gas is good for you.
You gotta let them go every once in a while. That log is just damn good. This harp is giving me the feel of
Bloating?
no, the damp. Mike Vaniak, I recommend 18 hours of light, and that's what we were thinking, 16, 18 hours of light. Unless you accept birds in January, you are working with short season. Well, Mike, you can accept the bird. Well, you can accept the birds, Mike, in January, but I can already hear it. We're going to accept birds in January, February, March, April, and May. We're going to accept them early this year, right from the word go. But if I tell people to have them ready off your first round, they'll tell you the weather was bad. How many times you hear that one, Ricky? Oh, it was cold. We're in Canada and it was cold. It was cold. That's Harper's for you. Rosedale says, hey, what's going on, Michael Green? Thank you, Tracy, for telling me about the echo. 18 hours, yes, for the lights, yes. Nuts are for squirrels. Gang one, I don't know where you're from, Liverpool, and we like Liverpool, a good football club, but I'll say nuts are for squirrels. That's a good one. I think we cut off the show. We had to restart it. And guys, if the show screws up, we'll restart. But you said it right. Maybe I was taking a bit of defense of what Gang One says. If I was in the UK, I'd get my ass kicked.
Okay, so
what you said it the right way, and I took it the wrong way. What did he say?
These people hear it?
They can hear you, Ricky. Go ahead, boy.
What did I say? I can't remember what I said.
No, you said that Gang One was meaning flying that system where he's from.
Right.
You probably get killed. It's like saying here, you come here and you don't fly the dark. You get your ass handed to you.
But we're here to learn.
We're here to learn.
So, who is it? Gang One?
Gang One.
Okay.
G-A-N.
So, Gang One, we're very sorry that we're not teaching you anything.
No, but you didn't mean that. You didn't mean that.
No. I'm not here to argue. I'm saying he's not learning from us. What he's saying is,
where he's from. That won't work.
We're on the same latitude on the Earth, roughly. Okay?
Right.
Earth's surface.
Right.
Okay? So maybe Gang One should come on and give us some good advice, maybe, or we'll listen to it and see if we can go ahead with it.
Well, wait a minute. I think what you said
I'm not saying my advice is the best.
No, but what you said was right. If you were in Liverpool where he's flying against his club and combine,
right?
There's guys doing different systems. The darkening system, the this, the that, whatever they're doing, that system's going to work there. We're talking about 100%, mate. So he's right. Okay.
No, okay, wait. What I'm going to say about what, okay, wait. The darkening system didn't come here. I mean, time's flying. I think it's been
25 years.
Or maybe 30 years.
We've had the darkening.
Came to our brains here in this country. And when that started,
okay.
I always thought.
He just wrote, he said, you need the dark here to win simple. Okay. And Gang One, I'm going to tell you, if I was flying my own pigeons here that I was breeding, anywhere in Canada, I would only fly the dark. I wouldn't play with the light. But remember, the birds for the one-loft race, it's a different beast. More birds, more stress. It's harder to darken them. They come in at different times. It's what we call, it's a constant up a hill. I agree with you. We're not going to talk anymore about this. Gang 1 and us, we're on the same page. So you're right. Do me a favor.
I believe if you take pigeons and raise them in January, and they hatch in January, they are naturally darkened. Naturally darkened.
Oh.
Those youngsters never ever hurt.
Okay, I'm going to read us another question that Rosedale wrote. I want you to go grab us another O'Hare. Let's try the O'Hare again. There's another one in there. Grab it. All right. So Rosedale writes, and then Bill Gilmore. Gilmore is one of my favorite hockey names. Doug Gilmore. Good hockey player. Rosedale Love says, I've done a lot of reading about UV full spectrum lighting for purposes for breeding molt here during Canadian winters. Only product for birds I came across was halogens. Curious about these lights being used for horses. I am going to get Darren May on and Gang 1. I don't know if you know Darren May, if you've seen when he... Okay, let's just be honest.
There you go.
The opening of the can of this beer,
The thing is,
it's superior.
It's probably been in there too long
No.
because it's almost frozen, I think.
No, it's all right. Okay. Lights is good at the right time. Money races. Good. Bill Gilmore says, maybe Gang 1 not doing good, LOL. I think Gang 1 Bill's joking. That's fine. I'm going to say, out of all the cans of beer I've opened, this can of beer,
I have a feeling
it's frozen.
It was frozen. That's why it's sounding like that.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Do I not know my beer? So you've got what you've got in there is ice pressure
Pushing through the snow.
trying to push through the can.
You know what? God damn you, Ricky 7.
I may not be able to fly a pigeon, but I know beer.
Yeah, it
Okay.
sounded real good. It was
because
one of those,
you got pressure in there. That's
a lot of back pressure. All right. We're going to have Darren May on to talk about the lighting. He swears by it. One thing about Darren that I know is he was big into horses, into thoroughbred racing. He knows a lot of people with money, people that won a lot of races in the horses. Now, horses and pigeons, are they the same? No, but there's similarities, and he took from it. Charlie McDargall, top flyer here in Liverpool, in my eyes. Hey, I always look for top UK flyers. What Gang 1? What does Charlie fly? I mean, not what maybe the family of birds, but what's the distances he likes to fly? Interesting. Put the beer in the microwave, says Henry Ratter.
Yeah, leave it in the can, eh, Henry?
Yeah.
Henry.
Did you ever notice?
It's not April Fool's Day.
Did you ever notice when Henry was over here? And it was amazing. But every time Henry came over and Mom was in the kitchen and she started the microwave, Henry would piss himself. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
Beat him, you're up there in the Federation. Well, that's a good pigeon flyer. You always look for the guys that are in the top. Great idea, Henry. Bill Gilmore is speechless on that. Did we want to show cutting the flights? You want to grab a couple birds? I got the basket there. What do you want to do? Want to show it? I do not want to show it. People want to cut flights, don't want to cut flights, or do want to cut flights, or what are you thinking, Ricky? You're nervous.
You want to show people that cut flights?
Well, we're gonna cut and pull flights on 3 birds. And we just want to do...
We're just going to cut the flights tonight.
Tonight, well, yeah. Tonight, you're going to get the flights cut.
Right.
Next
we're
week...
wait about 2 weeks.
Next week, we'll pull the flights.
I don't know. I think it might be have to wait a bit longer. 2 weeks.
We're going to pull them next week. I know lots of guys who just pull them right away. We're going to be a little bit more respectful and cut them.
Why would you be respectful? You're mentioning that.
Well, because I think it's going to hurt a bit more.
If you just pull them right away.
I think if you pull them right away, it's a bit sore. I think when you cut the flight once or twice in the week, you're going to dry the flight out.
Well, excuse me.
When will you know more about OLR next year? George McGaffin. Okay, or Gregory McFarland. See, my dyslexia kicked in.
So you're talking about people that aren't even in here. You're mentioning their names.
No need to cruel pull flights. No need to. Okay. All right.
It's like a porcupine quill. If a porcupine bites into you.
Jesus Christ,
yes.
Gross.
Yes. If a porcupine bites into you, you're better to cut the quill.
Let it dry.
And let it sit. Now, I don't know how long, but once you let it sit, something happens. There's a pressure release in the quill. Then you can pull it. So I don't know porcupine quill how long, but I think you got to leave it for a week, at least a week or 2 weeks before you pull it. Otherwise, like this person says, it's cruel.
All right, so we got a couple questions here. Robert Daughtry says you cut and pull 2 weeks after you've cut, which is, I think, a week to 2 weeks you're okay.
That's what I said, 2 weeks.
I think pulling them straight's a bit hard on them, so I don't recommend that. Bill Gilmore says no need to pull or cut the flights. Okay, that's Bill's thought. Mike Green says I used to cut when weaned 2 weeks. Okay, you cut and pull 2 weeks. Rob asks, if you were flying club racing in Southern Ontario, would you ever cut the flights? No, I'd darken. But this is different because, again, I say it, these are one-loft birds that we're taking in. We want them to be have more time to get out and explore. More being a wild pigeon.
Well, I think what you're trying to do there is on cutting those flights. If you don't cut them, you're going to keep them. You want to put them on natural light, right?
Right.
Okay. So let me finish. If you don't cut them, when you cut them and pull them, those new flights are going to grow in. So when you get to those races, when you're let's say you're out to almost 250, 300 miles.
The wing will be full.
You're not dealing with birds that are on their 9th flight, just budding up, or 8th flight.
You're right. They're going to have full wings.
The wings are going to be full.
You're actually doing is you're going to help molt the flights, and the lighting will push the body through.
What you're doing is you're pushing that part of the molt.
Right.
You're accelerating like when you accelerate a car. You're accelerating it.
Oh, okay. And Tracy asks, what's the reasoning to pull the flight? So when you pull the flights on a bird, the bird won't remolt those flights in.
That's right.
So when you pull the 10th, the 9th, the 8th, you pull, for instance, those 3 flights. Once they grow back in, the bird won't kick them again. So as he's molting, flight 1, 2, 3, 4. When he hits 7, he won't go to 8. He's done. His wing's finished.
That's right. You're accelerating the molt.
Ask Mike, did it help? Bill Gilmore asked Mike, did it help? Well, again, this isn't about ask Mike what he did in his club in combine racing. I don't care.
I think it's. We haven't tried it. We're going to try it. I think it's better than Darkening. I do think.
I don't care what somebody else did. I'm not somebody else. I get that.
He's asking Mike.
But
what Mike did.
I wouldn't fly in this area. Again, if I was in Liverpool, I wouldn't fly the lights.
Mike in Liverpool?
No, Mike's in here.
Vanderyak?
Yeah.
Ask Mike.
All right, hold on. Gang 1 writes. Gang, we're on to you. Now, let's try it again. Let's see if it tastes good.
Very nice beer. I just tried it. You poured more for yourself. See?
Here, I'll give you
No, I don't want to. I think it's very nice.
I think it's better than Harper. I think the stout's better than the lager. Anyways, Gang 1 writes, I would get them plenty of oil seeds, wild bird seed mix with good molting mix, leave in the loft, pear, cut feed, wheat germ oil, corn, and they will have a full molt. Good points, guys. Read what he's writing. All good things. You want birds to molt good, you got to give them the oils, the fats, and the proteins. Without those seeds, you don't produce a good feather.
The other thing, if you, like you're talking for winter, if you hopper feed your birds, good feed, okay, they won't get overweight. If you have feed in front of them all the time, they know exactly how much to eat. But I don't like to do that here because I'm going to have mice and rats and all this stuff figuring a way to get in there. And that's what I don't want, right?
All right, so let's read what Mike writes. Not enough time to molt the full wing. So cutting them and pulling them speeds the process. And that's very good what Mike wrote. If you don't, they will be molting the important flights, which is between the 7th and the 10th, when it comes down to your 200 to 350 mile races. And that means, but if that's a full wing and the bird's stroking, and you miss, the bird has a hole in the flight, now he's flying with a hole, or there's a hole, or there's a hole.
Or what happens is they get up there
and they're on a quill.
They're on a blood quill. That's like a flight that's just starting to sprout, and that's at a pressure point on the wing that creates pain.
Bill, so Brian Master says, good evening. Good evening, Brian. Bill says, then, if so, why nobody or if anyone doing it? The man in Liverpool, Gang 1, says, I want to fly the Darkening. People in this area are using it, and it's working. I always say,
what, Darkening?
Yeah. If it's working in your area and you're getting killer great results, I don't know if you want to go and reinvent the wheel.
Well, just hold on.
Wait. No. I'm talking to Bill here on this one.
Well, I'll talk after that.
Okay.
I have something to say.
We've done the Darkening here 3 years with the One-loft pigeons. Some birds handle it better than others. It adds stress. We don't have the birds long enough to get a solid Darkening in. So we're going to make an adjustment on this. This isn't flying club and combine races. This is flying a one-loft beast where we want the birds in the best feather and be able to work properly. That's why we're doing it. This isn't to say that the lighting system's better than the dark or the natural system's better than the lightning in the dark. They're all good systems.
Hey, listen, if you haven't tried it, don't knock it. That's what I'm going to tell this person. And let's go back before the Darkening was somebody figured it out. Because we were all just on natural here,
right?
And we all flew with bad wings, certain times in the.
But it was all the same, wasn't it?
Just hold on a minute. I'm the one that's talking. And we all flew at times when the head molt was so bad, and we had heat, and the guys he got head molt. He couldn't compete. He got holes. All the coverts were off, and we all flew the same way. But then, excuse me, I got gas from this beer, eh? That's why we don't want to show this on a family show, because it could give you gas. Then, one guy in the club started Darkening. He watched something from Europe or England or wherever.
And then took fire.
Darkening. And then we all said, we tried it, some of us. And for some reason, at first, I called it the dumbing system.
Right.
Because I found all my young birds, they were flying like late-breds that I had the year before. They never loft flew because I couldn't. The hawks were bad, or they wouldn't flow. Whatever the system was, this can't work. But if you didn't darken them, like Joe Blow, who was winning, you couldn't keep up to him. You were 20 minutes to 40 minutes behind him every week if you didn't darken them. You did have the odd time one bird would kick in.
Right.
He'd kick in. That would be it. As a loft group,
you get killed.
You just got 20 minutes to 40 minutes behind him. Okay, so now we're talking about lightning, and this fella here does only Darkening. Maybe if we all went lightning system, we're going to take less pressure off the birds as far as being in the dark. But
Okay.
I'm saying darkened
All right.
pigeons.
Hold on.
If they're darkened, if they're raised in the winter, let's say February, they're naturally darkened, and then the days get longer. Soon you hit that day that you feel
Right. The longest day of the year.
We don't, not the longest, in the short time.
Yeah.
We start increasing light, and soon you you hit that day. Then you better keep them on that
the light.
No, the dark. If you're darkening.
Oh, you're darkening. Yeah.
So that way you don't change the mental change.
The clock. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So if you screw up by 2 weeks, you didn't really darken properly.
All right. So we got some questions, guys. We got 4 or 5 questions. Great. Hey, you guys are participating. Remember, we're all not going to see eye to eye on this yet. We're not supposed to. We're supposed to have fun.
Maybe
banter.
Maybe what is it? Gang loft?
Hold on. So Gang 1 writes this.
Right.
No, sorry. Rosedale Loft, just let me read these. Rosedale Loft writes this. Cutting kills the feathers, which is good. That's what we want. That's why you want to pull them. Okay. Rob says this. In your opinion, if I'm sending pigeons to your one-loft race, would I be better to send January birds or March-born birds? Okay. I want to be honest with you. I think good pigeons are good pigeons. A super pigeon could be born in January, and a super pigeon could be hatched in May, born in May. If you want my honest opinion, I think hens. I don't think it matters when it comes. That magical one that has it, that's going to beat everyone and be a beast, it will have it no matter the age. I really do think that. I don't think January is any better than March. Sometimes I think the January babies are a bit lazier. The March babies are a bit younger, and they're maybe not sexually as motivated as the ones in January. The March ones aren't as sexually turned on. So there's a disadvantage there's an advantage. There's pros and cons to it all. There really is.
I'm getting back to, on the last race, why you whipped me. Were your birds not as sexually motivated as mine because you had troubles with the molt?
Yeah.
And so you didn't go through it. So mine were all teenage lovers, and they wasted a lot of time making love instead of no. I'm going to go. There could be a reason in that too.
Could be. There could be 1%. Let's take 1% of that. I'm going to say that's a 1%.
What I'm saying is, if you're up all day making love, you're not as rested as a guy that is not making love all day because he's not mature quietly enough.
Sexually mature.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
can I get back to the comments, Ricky?
From Gang Loft?
Yeah. No, I want to get back to some more.
Okay.
Mike Vandiak says. Mike Vandiak writes this. Guys, I'm trying to get through the comments. We got more comments. So let me just get through some of these comments and then comment. Okay, Ricky? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's start with Rosedale here. The hours of daylight are much different than Northern Ireland during the spring and summer months. I've lived in Belfast for a number of years. Okay, I haven't lived there. Rosedale has.
So what, he gets more dark days?
I don't know. He'll talk about that. Mike Vanderyak says, darkening your own loft is totally different than darkening one-loft birds. I 100% agree, Mike. I've done it. I heard guys pulling tail feathers and flight feathers in Florida. Yes, that's where I've learned it. Yes. Bill Gilmore says, then just lock them up, fly through it in only from Pigeon meeting Monday. I don't know what that means. Michael Peebler says, in most U.S., they cut and pull the flights unless live northern parts mites darkening. Okay, right. Gang 1 says, the guy who changes the most of winning more still natural. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, 13 weeks is long enough to have your birds darken. Gang 1 says 13 weeks is all you need. Here's our man, Alfred. He's going to be here in Canada, I believe, towards the end of November. You guys, if you are American or Canadian and you want to come to Toronto, you can cross into Toronto, into Canada, and meet this guy right here. He is an Olympiad all-around ace pigeon, Alfred from Combe Van Zoren, and he's the Chateau national winner. What a pigeon.
You know, I'll say a word to the Americans. Cheap enough. Fly into Buffalo, you and 3 or 4 other people.
Drive across.
Drive across. We're only an hour and 20 minutes from the Buffalo airport.
Bring a case of beer.
Come on over,
Yeah.
and hey, treat yourself.
All right. Alfred from Combe Van Zoren Pigeon Racing says, you're right. The sooner, the better. Then the brains can develop better. I agree as well. Sooner, the brains develop better than the younger pigeons. Okay.
The thing is, too, is if I could say a word.
I got one more comment.
Some people. You want to do one more?
One more, then you can talk. Rosedale Loft says, more light in Northern Ireland during the spring and summer than we get here. Okay, and Rosedale lived there, so he knows the difference. So go ahead with your point.
I'm saying in the One-loft, some people bring their birds later than others, and they didn't darken them. So in other words, a guy brings his birds the first week of May, and he did not darken. He's fouled up the darkening system.
Right.
So now you take them and bring them here, which you have it in the dark.
Right.
You screw up that bird's
System.
program for darkening. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
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 No, okay. And what we're saying with the One-loft is, we've done the darkening 3 years. I've seen the pros in it and the cons. I know the pros and I know the cons of it. I think the lighting with the pulling of the flights and the tail, I think we're going to add a percentage better. It doesn't mean we're not going to lose birds training. It doesn't mean we're not going to lose still birds to sickness. It doesn't mean we're not going to lose birds around the loft. It's not going to keep the hawks away. And it doesn't mean you're going to win more money. But there's a percentage there where it's going to cut down a bit more of the stress. It's going to allow the birds to go out and enjoy the fresh air longer than being kept in a loft. Okay, those all add for better reasons to not get lost during training, better loft flying, better exercising, better health, and the list goes on. But again, this is why we sit here and we talk about this.
Right. So I'm going to ask you a question, because I know you can answer almost any question I throw at you.
Ricky 7.
Now, if a fellow brings his birds, we're going to open this up from January 1st to the first week in May. Okay.
Right.
And he brings his birds in on the 3rd week of January. Are we still cutting the flights and pulling the tails at that time, or just hold on? Or do you want to cut the flights and pull the tails? Let's say we start letting them out in April.
Right.
We do it 2 weeks before we let them out in April.
Yes.
And not in February.
No. Everyone's going to get the flights pulled
at the same time.
At the same time. Tails and flights.
Okay. If a guy brings his birds the first week of May, that's going to be our cutoff week.
Cut and pull.
He's going to get automatically cut and pulled, right? So he's going to could be probably 3 or 4 weeks behind the other guys.
Right. You know.
But that's a bonus to him because he can go out right away. They don't feel like flying.
Right.
They'll go stand on the board and walk and look around, and he's going to catch up.
Okay, and again, what is so great about the Pioneer One-loft? We don't sit here quietly amongst you and me. We sit here and talk. Guys, we're talking to people from Ireland, England, America. We've got people's ideas, brainstorming. You know what? We're not going to all enjoy every idea, but we're communicating here and being, constructive criticism. See some positives, see some negatives. maybe change our thoughts a bit, and that's great. Here we go. Tracy says, any Americans that are coming here, she's going to pick you guys up in the Buffalo airport and bring them over. That's nice of Tracy.
Beautiful.
All right, and guys.
Is she going to bring them in a car or in the boat?
Goddamn bus.
Oh, because she likes boating.
Gang 1 says, Gang 1, give me your name, my friend. Forget Gang 1. I want to call you by your name. Nice name. It's kind of gangsterish, though. Germans darken their birds before they send to most one-loft races, and the Germans are very good one-loft flyers. Brian makes a very good point. We've talked about this. Brian Mansker says, I'd like the American birds to be able to ship the first week intake. When we do this next year, we're either going to start taking probably, because January is the first month birds aren't ready. We'll probably start taking February till May. This is what we're thinking. We will have once a month intake for the Americans. We're going to do it. We're going to bite the bullet and do it. The shipping might be a little different cost, but we want to make it work. I want the Americans to feel, hey, they're on the same page. I agree with you there, Brian, 150%.
You're going to pick up probably the first week of February because you can't go January.
No. It'll probably be like the 15th. 15th of February, 15th of March, 15th of April, and the first week of May. Or the 10th of May. Whatever. Alfred says from Colm Van Zoren Racing Pigeons, the darkening system. Oh, the darkening has only one advantage. Because we absolutely want to 500 kilometers with youngsters. They must have 2 flights in the basket. If you would not darken, you cannot forget that. So I think what he's saying,
the pigeon flies best when he's on his second flight.
Right. And you read that the same way I did. The pigeon has to be down 2 or 3 flights.
How many times do we look at the birds going in, and I think actually you could admit, Ryan, that you're out of your 4 first place winning pigeons in the last race. There's probably a couple at that point. They darkened so well that they were only on their second or third flight. A pigeon flies the best on his second or third flight.
I think most of those winning birds were under their 5. Were under 5. They were past 2, but between 3 and 5. On the wing. They all had full wings.
So out of your group, if you don't mind me asking a question, who had the best speed average pigeons out of the whole race series, 13 races?
You did.
I did.
Yeah, you had one in yours and the Twisted Sister, and then I had the next 5 or 6.
Right. So thank you very much.
Good job. But we're going to talk about that on tomorrow's show.
That's mainly what I wanted to do, Ryan. I'm not concerned about really winning.
Oh, wait, Tracy's got a question. Will a longer intake period affect the loft's immunity? You know what? You never know. You don't know what it's going to affect. I think colder weather is better.
I think what the person's saying, Tracy has a good point, because every time you add to the bus, you're stirring up the pot of maybe sickness coming in.
But again, it's very hard. And again, if we say, well, we want to take 1,000 birds next year, let's use that number, 1,000. I got to get all the birds here in 10 days. It's almost impossible to get the people on the boat. He had bad breeding. This one didn't put them together. This family went to Mexico for a month. The shit goes on and on.
So that's why we're going to this year. We're going to take the intake.
I think
to give everyone a chance to breed early and put them in, maybe, or people at the last end. They breed their young ones to come in May, give a chance. But Tracy's right. Are you going to infect more? I don't know.
And again, we're gonna P&V them all. We're gonna do our due diligence. We're gonna pox them all. We're gonna pull the flights. We're gonna do everything we can. Can I guarantee anything? You never can. But we're gonna be on it. And the other nice thing about getting birds at a slower pace, You can segregate birds a bit easier. You see it a bit easier. We're going to go from there. William Gilmore. I like that. Boy, we got lots of Gilmores on this show. I wonder if Bill and William are the same. I'm sending a few for the first this year to the Algarve, and if they said they cut and pull the flights, there would be no way I am playing. Again, if you go, you go to the Hoosier, the big race in America, the big race, or the California Classic. They pull and cut the flights. Pulling and cutting the flights isn't the be all end all. The Big Andy race in Florida pulls and cuts. The Flamingo cuts and pulls.
I'm going to ask you something. You said the Hoosier, the big race.
Yeah.
Big race. What do you mean big race?
People are pulling the flights.
It takes more birds. That's all. It's not big race.
Well, okay, whatever. Big prize money. Different areas are doing different things. Okay, we're cut on a short time base. Do you want your bird to fly with a full wing or holes in the wing? Holes on the wing, it's a hell of a lot harder.
Well, it's not fair to the bird either.
Right. You're torturing the damn thing.
That's right.
To cut, dry the flight, and pull it, if everyone's done it at the same time, you're okay. You're equal. You're equal. Anyways, again, everyone's going to see this differently, and that's why we say to people, this might not be the race for you, and that's okay.
Well, I don't know what.
Gang 1 says your young birds will win throwing 5 flights. 100% they'll win. William, see there. Okay. Are you going to POX next year? Mike Green says, absolutely, Mike. I've already figured out where I'm getting my pox vaccine. We'll have a pox vaccination show. Based on articles I read, the darkening system was based off of a flyer in Europe that had youngsters in 2 different lofts. You notice the molt was delayed. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Can we in the UK send over? For this season, Gang 1, we're not going to be able to take the European birds. We are going to work, not this year coming, for the next year, we're going to work on my European clients, people that we know coming over. I've got a big following there in Europe. I'd like to have a big race in North America that allows the Europeans to send. It's not going to be this season. I don't think this is going to be the year for the Europeans. I just want to be honest. Gang 1, I want you to participate. If you want a flyer that's won this race 3 years in a row, you want me to put you into them, talk to them, breed you a team of birds, you got to trust me. The guy wins. He probably help you out. And I say that to anybody. If you want me to put you in contact with people that I would get birds from in our area, and you want to have a bit of fun, we're not talking big dollars, a bit of fun dollars, participate. And again, you get to be on the show. You get to watch it. You get to critique how we fly. Maybe you like what we do. Maybe you don't like what we do. Maybe you learn. Maybe you don't learn. Maybe you say, this is rubbish. You get to be a part of it, and that's what we want. Bill, or William Gilmore says, I am Bill. You cut me off. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. The show cut off. So no hard feelings on that, my friend.
What's this run for about 40 minutes?
I found that our shows, anytime after 45 minutes, sometimes the internet craps out. So guys, if it cuts off, we're going to come back on. We don't mean to cut the shows off. Now, Ricky, we've done both these beers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do another Harper. I'm not interested. I want you to go now into the fridge. Drink your beer. Finish that little sip off. Just finish her off.
Now, this is a family show, right?
Mm. Now, we will send some. Now, I know you guys want to send, and again, right now, the birds from the UK and Europe, we're not going to bring them in. We want to set up a loft that will hold 6,000 to 10,000 pigeons, where we can do an import, where we can quarantine in the race lofts and go from there. That's not happening this season coming. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. The pyramids, we don't even know how they built the goddamn pyramids. I want you to go into the fridge and I got a treat for you. Go. Go on. Go. Last time you did this, I got up and got it. Go. Go into the fridge.
I'm going to go. Just take your time.
Right now.
Talk a bit more.
I'm going to read us a question. You go grab it. No, go grab it. Get the brown bottle. We're going to try Irish versus the Belgians. Side question, says Rob. Go right in the back there for the brown one. Boy. That night?
Budweiser?
No, the other brown one.
In this fridge?
Yep, in the back. Take a look.
Oh.
No more?
Here, my friend. Oh, here. You put it on the side, eh?
All right.
You thought I couldn't figure that out.
Now, let's just do one. We'll split.
Okay, no problem.
Split. All right.
Can you take them off with your teeth?
No, your brother could. We're going to need, grab me that knife. Grab me just grab me the bigger one. It's just in 2 seconds it pop. No, the big one. Knife with the heavy.
My brother used to do them with his teeth.
Okay. Now we're gonna compare that harp shit, which wasn't bad. Gave me a bit of gas. I think the O'Hare Stout's better.
Very good.
We're now going to go to last week's defending champion. Do you want to read the name, Ricky? Because you are Flemish.
Yeah.
Le Fleet. Before I open this, Rob has a question. Side question. Have you ever flown late-breds as yearlings? And how would you go about it? Ah, man. Now this question, shit. Rob, you're an asshole. This is a long question.
Right.
So his question is, you raise around the late-breds.
Mm-hmm.
You carry them over to fly as
yearlings.
What's your thought on it, Ricky? I'll let you go while I crack this open.
Well, I did it this year, but I think I lost the poor bird. I had a bird that you heard the story before. I put him, he was a late-bred. I took him and I put him right in the stock loft just because of his breeding. And I kept him in there for a year. You kept him in 1 full year. And the next year, so he'd be like a year and a half old, I thought, just for fun, I'm going to see. This thing never was in a basket, never loft flew, any of that stuff. And I started flying him with the cocks this year because he was a cock. And he picked it right up. I don't know if because he came from good blood, but I was surprised. I thought, this guy will never keep up.
We laughed at how good he was. He was fantastic.
Fantastic. He left birds that flew the year before that did all that stuff. Yeah. He left them and
he flew against 2-year-old pigeons and he was smoking them in training up to 80 miles. Yeah. Real good. Training around the clock, great. Overall, how do I find the late-bred pigeons? I'm not very impressed.
I find them mostly stupid as can be.
Right.
If they didn't get that baby teenage,
you gotta beat them as late-breds out of them. You gotta train them like young birds. Get them out there, get them going. Again, this is only what we've had from our experience. Now, in Europe, they don't get winter like they get here. Okay. In about another 4 weeks, there's no leaves. We're going to have snow. Everything's frozen.
Snow,
right?
Cold.
And in 8 weeks, everything will be white with that much snow. And in 2 months, we get that much snow. You know what? Your nose, when you breathe in, everything freezes in your nose.
Well,
it's different.
The hawks here, all they're looking for is anything that goes out, they hit it.
Okay, now, here we go. Gang 1 says, yearlings at the age 3 had some good birds come from them. Okay. Alfred says this beer is shit. He says Heineken's better. Alfred, you're Dutch. You don't know much about beer. I'm joking. Heineken's better.
I know years ago, the Dutch would get on their bicycles and they would ride to Belgium
For beer.
and spend the whole day riding from town to town having beers.
Okay. Well, they still do it. You're going to meet Alfred. Okay. Brian Mansker has this question. What's your feeling about the Leo Herman's pigeons? Now, you know what? I'm going to step away from this conversation, and Ricky's not. Alfred, you see this question. You fly in Pigeon Mecca World in Holland. Also, Gang 1, you are flying in Pigeon Mecca World in the UK. So I want you guys to answer this question. In a Pigeon World's, the Leo Herman's pigeons. I think good pigeons. There's a lot of them out there. What's your thoughts on the Leo Herman's pigeons? So Gang 1 and Alfred, you guys each answer. I'm going to have a sip of this now. Leslie, let's see. Wow. Man, there's a lot of levels in that beer. It's got more levels than the O'Hare. For that Harper, forget it. Use it for that's pony piss. Rosedale Lofts has had some great beers in Brussels. Yeah, guys, everywhere you go in the world, great beers. The other night I went to Dim Sum. I had the Tissango Chinese beer.
Very mild beer.
Very mild beer. They're very proud of it, though, eh?
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Do you want Budweiser?" I says, "Well, what's the good beer?" He goes, "I'll bring you Tissango." But anyways, yeah, what's your thoughts on the Leo Herman's birds? Guys, in every family of pigeons, there's good pigeons. You got to find those pigeons. You have to find who's got the right ones, who's got the ones that were just dumped off and sold. Alfred writes this. The old kind was good. So when he says that, he says the original ones before he was Leo Herman's. That's what I believe he means.
I have an answer. Okay. Mm-hmm. This might hurt people, but my pigeons are super shit.
Okay.
Leo Herman's pigeons are just shit. Not super shit like mine.
Right.
They're a little better shit than mine. I'm saying there's so much shit in a pigeon loft. Every pigeon you raise is not a piece of gold. And Leo Herman's can't say that either. Otherwise, he'd be God. So that's what I'm saying, right?
And
so ask Alfred if he raises 60 young ones, 100 young ones. I'm not trying to put the gun at anybody.
No.
How many are so super? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Like out of 1,000 pigeons,
so I'm going to finish what he said.
super.
So Alfred wrote this, and let me finish. The old kind was good, especially for crossing. So the originals, before he was Leo Herman's, we all knew about him.
They were
before he was Leo Herman's that went to the bar and had a drink, and you didn't know who he was.
Yeah, they were probably very inbred pigeons.
Don't forget that Herman sold maybe 1,000 pigeons a year. So there are a good chance they were pretty good, one in between. I think what he's saying is there was a lot of shit. I think. I'm not a clue up on the Hermans and Custards. Okay, so Gang 1, you're okay. Yeah, that's right. And Alfred agrees with you.
You know, it's one thing. You got to be a real man, and I'm not bragging, to stand up and say, Leo Herman's got a name, right? But really get Leo Herman's on the table and say, Leo Herman's, how much super shit do you breed that'll win? Well, out of 1,000, I don't think he'll say 10 will win.
No, he's going to give you the real numbers.
That's it. Right. So, but you know, it's a.
You know, I talked to Alfred, and Alfred says again, I see him time and time again. Man, there's a lot of shit. He got a lot of good ones. Breeds good pigeons. Breeds a super pigeon. He breeds good ones, shit ones, real good, and then a super.
But you don't know until you fly them.
And the basket is the only one
that
tells you you're okay. The big names bring in birds from other good flyers. Yes. Guys, if you want to know, Alfred here, this guy you got on the screen, he's a very small loft. He flies with his father and his 2 kids. The one thing I like about Alfred, he's real. He gives you the realness. He don't tell you every pigeon he pulls out is God. He don't do that. He's looking for God. These ones have bred pretty good. These ones are good. I'm working on these. I'm working on this. I'm working on this. Here's my Olympic Henny. It's perfect. It won this. It's not everything is perfect and sunshines and rain. And you don't get to his house and it's a beautiful sunny day, eh? Real people. I like that. William Gilmore, also known as Bill Gilmore. LOL. The shit was spreading, done. Others as a turn. Others a turn. And I think it's a fad, man. It's a fad. Once when this beer gets first put out, oh, it's great. You tell 10 million people, they all start drinking it. They all say it's great. That's how it goes. They produce. You're going to buy good ones in a sale and bad ones in a sale. Let's say Blackpool. Let's go with Blackpool. Let's say at Blackpool on a weekend, there's 500 pigeons that were sold. Mm-hmm. The good shot, there's 1 super breeder in there. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Mm-hmm. But because the laws is every 100, there's a good one. Now, in that year, at Blackpool, was there 5 super racers? Were there 5 super breeders? What's the odds? And then somebody is going to go there, and you're going to hear the stories, man. I went to Blackpool. I got drunk. I bought a bird for $150. Don't know why I bought it. It bred great. You're going to hear the same guy. I went to Blackpool. I'm just using Blackpool as an auction place. I went there. I spent £10,000 on a super inbred child or whatever. It bred me nothing. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you can't look in them. You can't ask them. You still got to have a bit of luck, don't you? Brian Mansker says, no, hold on. Alfred says, of 60 young birds, this is what Alfred's saying, guys. Again, he's a national winner. He's an Olympiad winner.
Because I threw that out to Alfred. Right. He's going to give me an answer now.
Okay, Alfred says, out of 60 young birds that he's going to raise, 5 are good and 1 super every year. And we don't have many breeding pigeons. So I dare to say I'm impressed with all the big names. So I think what he's saying is the big names have to produce a lot of birds. They're not producing the same result. Guys, very small loft. He says 60 young birds. He says he's got 5 of them a year roughly that are good. And he finds he has 1 super.
Right.
Now, Alfred, has that been consistent for the last couple of years? Does it vary? What's your thought on that? He's not a fan of the big names, and I know that. I've talked with him before. Alfred is the man, no BS. You're going to find that with Alfred, and you'll really find it with his dad. Guys, you hand them a pigeon, and within 2 seconds, if they like it, they tell you. If they don't like it, they tell you. We were racing these Belgian Walter Docks. We were racing these Belgians, Walter Docks. They were super pigeons. Everyone was winning with them. Into next name, best guy located gets them. No, I don't know what this means. You've been to Blackpool. I've been to Blackpool once. I'm going to go again. William Grant, $5,000 on a duck. Yeah, on shit. Okay, I get what you're saying there. When you were flying club races, did you train mostly the course, or would you train around the clock?
Train on the course.
You train on the course. If I'm building for speed, young birds, I'm going to train on a course. I'm going to line them up and kind of more of a ground and pound, get them feeling good about what they're doing. So, of course. No, all different. So each year, he says Alfred could get different. So guys, I think what Alfred's saying, he could breed 60 next year. He could get a good one in a super. The year after, at a 60, he could get 7 good ones, but no super. I think what he's saying is it goes like a roller coaster. So for new guys,
and I think young birds, I think your birds, again, I said, you're going to find the best birds that fly up to 4 years, young birds and 3 old bird series. You're going to see what's the best in the end. Right. If you what you call, count your chickens on young birds this year, I say whatever's done that work and whatever's left, right?
Right.
With respect. I don't mean what's left like he went to the race, he always comes 3 days late, always comes 2 days late or a day late, every single day time race. You know, he's playing garbage. That's garbage. But a bird that comes in respect.
Right. Within that first hour, within that first half hour.
And if he's left at the end of the year, then you move him to the next year and see.
Let the basket help you.
Sometimes your first pigeons, average speed first pigeons as young birds don't come as second yearlings and 2-year-olds. They don't come. They just, for something happens.
Now there's a question for Alfred. Alfred, have you noticed that sometimes, and this is for everyone, have you noticed sometimes a gangbuster super young bird, as a yearling it falls off and you don't see it? Have you guys noticed that? Because you know what? I've seen it.
Well, you always got to look at this as well. You fly a young bird series. I got a young bird. I'm saying someone has a young bird. The first race was 110 miles. With the tailwind, he was first.
Right.
The second race at 150 miles, he was second again, or first again with a tailwind. The third race was a headwind at 150 miles, right? He was in the top 5. The next race we go up. Shoulder wind. He was always up in that, right?
Right.
So in other words, with the tailwind, with the headwind, with overcast, with all this stuff, the bird adjusts to all the situations. That's a sign of a good pigeon.
Right. And you know, tonight's not the night to talk about it, but in the Pioneer One-loft, we talked points. The bird from Jones family loft, Big Mac. We're going to have his picture up tomorrow.
Right.
He won champion points.
Right.
Every bird went up together on the 13 races, from 2 miles to 318 miles. They all went up identically the same. They come to the same location. They go into the same buildings, line by line. That pigeon, first prize pigeon, beat the 10th place pigeon by 300 points.
The 10th place pigeon.
Now, 10th place out of 300 pigeons, that's less than 1%, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He beat him over 300. He almost beat him by a whole race. By one full race. We were awarding 300 points for first and counting down. The goddamn pigeon in 13 races managed to beat, not 300, he beat 340 pigeons by 300 points. And when you tell me that damn pigeon flat out could find a way to get to the top a lot of the time.
Out of 13 races, 13 different, just hold on, different situations.
Different tricks.
They weren't all the same weather.
Distances. We got the shortest 2 miles to 318 miles. A true goddamn test.
That's right.
Of can you ride that bike any way I ask you to.
Whatever test.
And that son of a bitch beat all the pigeons except 340 pigeons. He beat by 300 points or more. Okay, oh boy, Alfred, you're driving and writing. You know what that means? You'll crash. Watch out. Alfred says, and I'm going to try and read this the best I can, guys. We'll give you an example, and this is a true story. The first youngsters from the famous Harry. You guys know who Harry is from Jan Hoymans. 90,000 euros. The first youngsters for Harry sold for 90,000 euros. In American dollars, that's probably like $120,000, $100,000 in that range. And was bought by Veenstra. Okay. I want to point out that people are being fooled. No matter the Athens is going to pay the amount. Okay, so the amount is crazy. The reason behind this is that he deliberately sets the price. So deliberately, by Veenstra buying the pigeon at 90,000, it sets the precedent that all these birds got to be worth 90,000. That's what he's saying. Prices it so high, so people are stupid. Who thinks that must be a good bird, right? Must be a good bird for 90,000 bucks. These are children. Because he has no expense. So money makes money. And again, I think it is what it is. Is that a $1 pen or a $100 pen? If Donald Trump uses it, he'll all say it's $100. Some will, it depends who uses it. It depends. Money produces money, and we get that. Big Mac was also up there in the average speed. Yeah, he finished 11th. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Again, guys, we're just talking on the show here, just bringing up situations. So again, guys, tune in tomorrow night at 8:30. We're going to do this all again. We're going to have different drinks. Okay. Amparloff says, I had a young bird that won an open race as a yearling. It didn't do nothing but bother. That didn't do good as a young bird. Did better as a yearling. And he won an open. So
wait, I'm going to ask
it did nothing as
Amparloff. Does nothing as a young bird, he said.
Did nothing as a young bird. And won an open race as a yearling.
Right, okay. But did it fly all the races as a young bird? Came consistent as a young bird? And he kept it because it did the work through that young bird series. And then the next year it showed, did it only win one open race as a yearling?
Okay, and again, we're talking, what's a good pigeon? A pigeon that wins one race, or a pigeon that, like you said, hey, 100 miles or 150 miles, a headwind, it was 10th. 200 miles and a crosswind, it was 8th. 300 miles and a tailwind, it was 1st. Banging up good, consistent results.
If I could say something,
can I ask you a question? Would you take a winning pigeon at 300 miles? Or would you take a pigeon that flew 8 races and had eight prizes in the top 10% or less?
I would take the pigeon, for example, I'm not bragging,
right?
But I got 2 pigeons out of this whole group that are on the top, average speed pigeons, average speed. Those pigeons showed consistently through the 13 races. And to me, those pigeons are more worth than a pigeon that wins the last race.
Or wins one race.
One race.
Okay. So Troy,
to get those points.
Troy wants me to read it again because I read it wrong.
No, it won one open race. Okay, fine. Or I think it was open race. Where did it do in the rest of the race?
I got to reread what Troy asked. Okay. I had a young bird that won an open race as a yearling.
Right.
It didn't do anything, but brother that didn't do but a brother that didn't do good as a young bird. Did better as a yearling. That the winner was an open winner. So again, Troy, I don't know what I'm reading here. Right, wrong, whatever it is. We're talking about ones and dones. I'm not interested in one-time winners. I'm really not.
That's right.
You know, maybe when you get to 650 miles, where you can only test them so many times, it's different. 600 miles, 650, 700 miles. You know, that's a different beast because you can't. How many times can you test pigeons that go to that well? They got to have it in them.
Well, yeah, like I said, I got my Kenora hen there. I told you. She flew 4 500-mile races and 1 850-mile race in her life.
Right.
Okay. That pigeon stopped her at 7 years old.
Right.
How many pigeons will make it to that ability to keep going?
Right.
To do the job.
You know, I'm going to tell you. I went and visited Luc Van den Plas. And he said to me, you know, one of the nicest Belgian men I met. He knew a lot of the big flyers. This guy sold a lot of expensive pigeons privately that were his own. And he told me about a key pigeon, and you can go watch on our videos. He talks about it. He says, had a hen. She had 70 prizes, top 10 prizes. And I said, wow, that's incredible. He lost her at 9 years old.
You flew her.
Flew her.
Yeah.
He said she wouldn't lay. So he said I couldn't stop her because she was just so damn. Every year you put her in the basket, she'd get you 2 or 3 top prizes. Top.
Well, I'm talking about that hen I had. She wouldn't lay either. As soon as I seen her hump up, she got in the nest. I seen her hump up. I would give her an egg. For, you know.
So
and that she settled down.
But
fly really late.
But not a lot of people will go the distance to push the pigeons. Now, Troy is correcting me again. The brother of the open race winner was my best pigeon as a yearling. Okay. Well, but again, hey, take a look. You can look at a whole family. 3 brothers and 2 sisters. One's a welfare addict. One's hooked on drugs. One's a millionaire. One's a teacher. And one still lives at home with the parents. Whatever way you want to cut it. On a family tree, we're all not winners. Alfred, does every pigeon out of your super pair throw supers? Isn't that a great question? It doesn't happen.
It all depends on the pigeon man as well.
Sure.
Flying the pigeon.
Flying the pigeons.
Right. Okay, so Alfred could take the best pigeon he has, right? That Olympic hen.
Right.
And give it to me.
You can't get nothing out of it.
I can't get nothing out of it. I'm going to say, I'm going to move in Alfred's house tomorrow, the same house.
Right.
Keep the pigeons in there. Say, hey, leave the pigeons with me, right? Next year I'm going to fly them, and I'm going to be right at the bottom because I don't have the technique. The
master, a pigeon master.
Like right. You're a pretty good cook, and I'll tell you something. If I give you an onion and 1 piece of bread, you can make a beautiful meal out of it. But if you give me the onion and 1 piece of bread, it's garbage.
Okay, so now Rosedale, this is a great question. You don't see many birds over 2 or 3 years old flying in Canada. And I find that is because, why do you find it? Why do I find it?
I have a word for it.
Go ahead. And guys, if you're Canadian.
I might be offending you guys in Canada. I live here in Canada, right? But I believe you're not pigeon flyers. You're pigeon keepers. I believe you're not a pigeon sports person.
You have pigeons. You have them.
I say you're a suck-ass flyer.
Right.
I hate to say it to you, boys. but that's what you are. Okay? So think about it. That's all you are. That's it. You're not fair to pigeons. You don't train them properly. Do this shit. You say she flew once nice. She's a beautiful blue bar. I put her in the stock loft. And then you brag to all the people that she was first from 100 miles and she's first. And everybody says, you know what? She was first. That's a pile of shit. Yeah. Right? And Empire Loft, he flew here this year. Right?
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to brag again. He flew every single race.
He did.
And if they didn't come first, he worked the next week and flew them again. That's a guy that flies the pigeon right in our system, right to the end. A lot of guys don't do that.
Right, and Rosedale Loft says, I feel birds have been mismanaged. Remember, we're tasting beer. Mm-hmm. We like it. We like a good drink, don't we? Would you say you're a beer connoisseur? I'm not. Are you?
We're just tasting
it. We're tasting it. Hold on. How many guys do we fly against that have pigeons say, I'm a pigeon racer? The question is, you have them, you keep them, you feed them. But when do you get to the level of saying, I'm here to race goddamn pigeons?
I think you have to ask the question. If you don't, I'm going to say it. Let's the pigeon ask the man who keeps them. The pigeon asks the man who keeps them, Johnny, I'm a racing pigeon. Johnny, treat me and make me a racing pigeon. The guy can't answer that question because he's a dummy.
Right.
Right? And 95% of the people, 99% of the people here in Canada that's all they are. They don't have the balls.
And let's not pick on Canada.
No.
Let's pick on it in the world. It's all over the world.
Oh, I think the fellow said here in Canada. That's what
we talk about Canada, but I'm sure it's all over the. Now, could you please go into the fridge again and grab us a Budweiser? Let's try an American beer. Come on.
A Budweiser.
That Budweiser we got there.
Oh.
We're going to try that against the restaurant. Okay, Rob says this. Across the board, in points and average speed, the master breeder, I thought Absolute Pepsi was maybe the best bird this year. We're going to look at that tomorrow. I think he was in the averages, and I think he was in the points. Absolute Pepsi was a great pigeon to fly. One thing that really impressed me this year, we're going to go with the Budweiser now. Again, I'm a vodka drinker. I don't drink beer. Beer is not my cup of tea. So we're going to try this out. Let's see how it is. Oh, I got a little bit of beer on my phone there. That's okay. I don't want to do anything crazy. Hold on. Okay. So, Hammy McIntyre says, I have a bird in my loft that will be 19 years old in January. Make sure you throw him a party because, hey, that's pretty damn good. American beer with German roots made from rice. Rosedale Loft knows his beer. Why Canada shit flyers? Shit flyers, bud. Why Canada shit flyers? That's a wrong thing to say. You know, I was 12 or 14 years old. My parents, for a family vacation, they took me to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.
Right.
Now, we flew there. We had cable TV. You're starting to get cell phones, whatever the shit was, microwaves. We went to Santo Domingo, and the resort was great, right? toilets and everything was fine, right? But we went in for a little tour into the town. It was third world, wasn't it? They had blood running on the street from the butcher shop. They had no fresh running water. It was dangerous, man. It was third world scary.
We had small little buses. We went on a bus we chose to go on, and we had a guy in another bus come after us with a baseball bat and said, "Get on my bus,
or I'll kill you,
or I'll beat the shit out of you."
Right,
and that's how they work.
And what I'm saying here to Gang One is, Canada pigeon flyers, we're not shit because we're shit people and we're shitty pigeon flyers. Pigeon flying here is not like pigeon flying in the UK. It's not like Belgium. It's not like Holland. It's not like Germany. We're behind by probably, let's be honest, 100 years.
I'd have to say we're also a bunch of lazy pigeon flyers.
We are.
And that's what I'm saying. If the racing pigeon was to talk to the owner and say, hey, right, like a racehorse is made to race.
Right.
A beagle dog is made to hunt rabbits and stuff like that. If he's bred for that.
Hound dog's made to hound.
Yeah, don't buy a beagle hound dog and keep it in an apartment building downtown, because it's not right for the dog. The dog's made to hunt. A retriever wants to retrieve. He's made for that.
That's a Henkel knife. That's meant for chopping.
To cut, well,
this isn't a butter knife, is it?
That's right.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. And a donkey is not made to race.
And
so a racing pigeon is made to race and perform. And it's up to the owner to do that. But some owners don't have the capacity and the willpower and the work ethic to do that job.
Right. And Rosedale Loft hits it on the head. A total different mindset. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Wait. You know what? I love hockey. It's great. Hockey here, man, it's heaven. Everyone loves it. Kids at 2 years old got $900 hockey sticks. That don't mean there's good hockey.
You're not joking either.
Hold on. Go to the UK. Watch this. Try and find a hockey rink. Guess what? Ain't going to happen. But you'll find a soccer pitch. You'll find a rugby pitch. You'll find where they play darts, where they play snooker, where they drink beer. Mm-hmm. But you will not find a goddamn ice rink. Is there a better hockey player than Wayne Gretzky out in that world? Yes. And does he not come from Canada? Absolutely. Has he been found yet? Not yet. He could come from Saudi Arabia. He could come from the UK. The UK's not into hockey, is it? Canada soccer, absolute fucking garbage. Pretty much. Finally starting to get better as we go. The UK, Italy, Germany, Portugal, they produce the machines. It's a different way of life. The ball is built on the feet. Here, it's not like that. And pigeon flying here, I hate to say it, it's not. If you said to me tomorrow, you can fly pigeons here, I'm not interested. In a combine or a club, I'm not interested. There's only one guy I'm interested in flying against, or two guys. And the rest of them, thanks, I'm not interested. And it's not knocking those other people. It's somebody that I know is going to go out there and give me their goddamn best.
They don't have, in this country, they don't have the, number one, it's too much work here to make the dollar, because they have to work, and they don't have the time to do it. Really, they don't have the time to do it, but they think they can do it. Then they think, because I bought a bird off of Top Notch, and one guy told me, I got a bird I bought, he's from Barcelona, whatever he told me. Now he's going to be right there. No, because he doesn't want to work with the pigeons.
Well, you know,
ask a guy, what have you done?
Prime example.
Right.
We at Feathers Elite, we sell some pretty good pigeons from people from all over, okay?
Right.
And somebody bought a direct child off of First National that we sold. This pigeon's family specialized in old birds, 2-3-year-old flying, 4-year-old flying. Person bought the bird, $3,000. Wow.
Right.
That's nice.
Mhm.
In pounds, 2,000 pounds. Good money. Had the pigeons a year and a half, got rid of them. Got rid of the cockbird. I said, well, why'd you get rid of the cockbird, sir? Didn't produce anything. I said, did you fly any of them as old birds, 3, 4, 500-mile races? No, it didn't fly any. Wait a minute. You just called the pigeon that you bought for distance off of training tosses and what?
Wait a minute. Training tosses that he did?
Yeah, not races.
How
training
many tosses did he do?
7, 10, 12, 15. Not enough. And wait, when you're judging distance pigeons, what does a distance pigeon need?
He needs a bit of time.
Time.
Right.
Time. Slow down.
Just
And you want to know what they did with the pigeon? You want to know what they did? They gave it away.
they blame the pigeon and not themselves. Right? Isn't that right?
And Greg, Gang One says, why can't you all get together? That's not going to happen because there's jealous people, bad jealous people. It's dissing the sport, really. In the UK, too, we need more members here, really. And we need new members everywhere. The problem is the old people and the new young people got to get together. And if you take a look at old people and you take a look at young people, okay, you can go to a bus stop. You're going to see 65, 70-year-old man. He's sitting there. He might even have a little bag. And he have his beer in his bag. You'll see the 30-year-old man at the same bus stop, if you don't have a car, he's sitting there like this with his phone. And right there, that's your difference. It's two worlds that are way apart. It hurts, isn't it? But it's the truth. And that's why One-loft racing, getting the sport on the internet, promoting it, that's how we're going to find people. And try and open their minds. But bashing these young people, it don't work either.
People that have the birds, if they don't get out there and train, you're never going to do it. And I mean training, I mean loft flying. Loft fly them in the morning an hour, maybe in the afternoon an hour. And here, get in your car and go training. But if you haven't got the time, they don't have the time because they got to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. It's still dark. And they work till 7 o'clock at night and it's dark. They don't have the time to let the birds out. They don't have the time to train them. But what these people do, the same guy, he goes and buys a bird for $2,000 thinking for some reason the door of glory is going to open for him, and now I'm going to do it. He puts a bird in, gets a pair of youngsters and starts, well, he doesn't do it. Then what he does, he blames the bird. He blames the breeder. He says, well, I'm not going to. From that guy, I bought a bird. I spent $2,000. You're going to go around telling everybody. But let's ask the question, Bud. What did you do?
Well, did you do your best? Your real best? Were you so damn tired, but you kept going?
That's what did you do? And if you had to work so hard, great. Did you have, I'm saying, a partner, a wife to help you out?
Wait.
I know great pigeon men. They're on their third wife in this country because
the pigeons were first.
Well, she didn't want to train for him in the morning. She had him ready. She wouldn't take. She got sick and tired after the fourth time going up the road or letting them out or bringing them in. I can't do it.
Or having pigeon men come over.
I got laundry to do. I got whatever shit to do. But I'm just saying, if you don't have the time to do it and nobody wants to work with you, and you don't know how to be a coach, all right, you're finished.
Right. And again,
I'm discouraging people in pigeon flying.
It's not, but it's the dirty truth, right? It's not, we're not talking, everything can't be sunshine and goddamn rainbows. Life is cruel. You want to go to the gym and have biceps like this, be ripped, eat chicken and rice and whatever. You're going to pay the price and other things. You ain't going to sit at the bar on a Saturday with your buds and enjoy the beers with them. No. Instead, you ain't even going to go. You know what you're going to say to your buds every time they ask you to go out? I'm going to stay home tonight. You're going to drink a power shake. And after about 10 times of them asking you to come out for a fucking beer, you know what they're gonna say?
You're gonna say he's all screwed up.
Yeah,
This guy.
I'm not gonna call you no more.
But he's got an accomplishment.
All right, hold on. Hammy McIntyre says, how many of you have a pair of pigeons that produced a pigeon to win a race with over 12,000 in the race? I did. Hey, you know what? Maybe that pair's done it once, and maybe that pair's bred a lot of other good birds, and maybe that's the only accomplishment you've ever done, or maybe it's multiple accomplishments you've done. It don't matter. That takes a round of applause right there. Hey, again, I'm going to give you a cheers, Hammy. Congratulations. To produce a winner over 12,000 pigeons, that's an accomplishment. 12,000 brains, you had the fastest bird. Good job on that one.
But I'm going to ask the other question.
What?
How many races did this fellow fly against between, let's see, 5,000 and 12,000 pigeons? Right?
Might have flown a whole lifetime to get it.
But what I'm saying is, was that a one-time wonder?
But I mean,
I think that's accomplishment.
Let's not. Okay,
I'm not trying to bash the person.
No, I think that's something. Can I ask you a question? That. You've lived here. You've had pigeons for 60 years.
I've been living here for quite a while on this planet.
You ever beat 12,000 pigeons? I've never done it.
No.
So I'm going to be honest. Congratulations, because I've never done it, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. I'm not going to knock you. I think you did super. If you did it once and the pair bred other good ones, even better. If you're constantly up at the top, super.
It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but I'd just like to know how that bloodline, that family, did as a whole over, let's say, a 5-year period.
Right, over a few seasons.
That's what I'm going to say, right? So and a one-time wonder, 100%. But if this guy says, repeatedly, I've been in the top 10%.
Yeah, I'm doing real good.
That's what I want.
Real consistent. That's even a better congratulations.
That's right.
Still,
that's
not going to knock it. To beat 12,000 pigeons, it's a super achievement. Hats off to you. Gang One says Wales has got an ice rink. Oh boy, Gang One. When I come to the UK, you're going to meet me at the bar, and we're going to sample all the beers, and we're going to talk about hockey. Okay.
Wait a minute. Where's Wales? Is that in Ireland? No. Wales.
Listen.
You tell me. Scotland, guys, Wales. Is that all?
It's all together, but you got to watch it.
I know Wales.
There's fighting going on.
Where's Wales? Is that a country? It's an island there between Ireland and Scotland?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all together. But
are you sure?
If we watched Braveheart, we'd figure it out.
I'm Welsh. Where is that? Is that a
Hellfire?
Is that a bigger man than an Irishman? Or is that kind of like a...
Listen, if you want the ultimate fighter, it should come down to Scotland, Ireland, England, and Wales.
Okay, ask him.
Forget all the other countries.
Does he shoot left or right?
Oh, you don't know about it. Okay, wait. I train hard before the first race. Mike Green writes this. Oh, wait. Rob says, the Pioneer runs the best one-loft race in North America. I don't think we run the best one. We just try and show all. We're not perfect, and we're never going to be. But thanks. Mike Green says, I train hard before the first race. After the first race, mine don't go on the road, just loft fly twice a day. Twice a day. They do well. Okay. All right. Now, hey, Mike, if they're doing well and you're happy, great. If you can add maybe one toss a weekend with the young pigeons, I would recommend it. Or 3 short tosses a week at the start. I think it confidence boosts your pigeons. And remember, a short toss can be 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles. You don't have to pound them. You just got to say, hey, let's get the confidence back in the brain. That's my thought. Rosedale Wales. Bill Gilmore says Wales, they're huge. The Welsh people are big.
They're stronger than the Irish.
So what do you guys think of super fighting? Would you put, if you had to put a Scotsman, an English, an Irish, and a Welsh, who would win the tournament? Post that in. Who has better feet and can we see them. Who has bigger feet? Ricky's got bigger feet than me.
No, I don't.
We have the same size feet.
Does it matter the feet?
Wait. Gang 1 says he lives 35 miles from Liverpool. What does this mean, 35? Listen, England's all about pubs, bud. Wherever we meet, it'll be at a pub. I'm only playing with you. We'll have some drinks. This is a great show tonight. You guys are on. I mean, you guys are watching there in the UK. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, which is great. Again, I don't claim to be a great pigeon flyer. I love racing pigeons. I love to be able to fly everywhere in the world. One of these days I will fly in Belgium. I would love to go and fly in the UK, Ireland, England. Man, I love to even go to the Middle East to try and fly pigeons, Mexico to fly pigeons, America to fly pigeons. And maybe I'm going to do it all. We'll have to see. Irish clover masker, it gives a guy 2 black eyes. Oh, Wales is 35 miles as the crow flies. So if we go to Gang 1's place, we can go there and drink, and then we can go to Wales and drink. Oh, boy. You guys are having fun.
So the guys from Wales, he said they got a nice shrink.
We're still not sure, though.
Okay, I tell the guys from Wales, if they got an ice shrink, do yourself a favor. At first, don't buy yourself a $900 stick.
Yeah.
Just get yourself a $10 stick.
Yeah. Actually, get yourself a blade and a tree branch. Blade and a tree branch. No, guys, we're having fun here with the pigeons, and that's what it's about. We're talking about pulling flights. I'm gonna have for next week. I'm not gonna show tonight cutting the flights. It's already a little bit late. We'll cut those birds and pull them next week. We're gonna show people how we pulled them. I'm gonna do a video of how we cut them. Show people how we're gonna cut them.
We got some time.
We got time, and you know what the best thing is with time? It's on your side. We're building the race for next season. The Pioneer One-loft.
For next season.
We got Harper, O'Hara's, Lafleur, and Budweiser. This shit's starting to get blurry.
And always remember one thing, folks.
The source would steal your birds. The souse? What word is this? SCOSES.
SCOR.
No.
Scores.
The SCO.
The scores.
No. SCORE. No. SCOSES. SCOS. What word's this?
Something about success. Success, maybe he's saying. Success.
LOL. The success would steal your birds? That
That's
doesn't make
it.
sense. No. All right. Rosedale off. Believe there is a guy in Wales with a good family of Ardens. Hey, here's a question. What do you guys are thinking about these old family of pigeons? Ardens, Siams, Jansons, Stickabouts, Catrice, Delbar.
Those old families, I think they're gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, now, again,
it depends on who he's flying against. If he's flying against a lot of these old family things, they're all in the same.
Shit.
You know, it's like racing a 1969 Mustang Mach 1 against a 2022 Porsche Carrera or whatever the hell they are. Right.
You have a 1969 Mach 1. And you take it out, it's numbers matching, it's original,
Right.
Turnkey go, it's mint.
Right.
You can pull it up beside a brand new Mustang GT that produced this year, they produced this year 14 million of them. Beautiful, same color, turnkey go. But put your car beside that car, your car blows it away in looks. Sounds better, looks better.
Right.
Take off from the line, it beats you. Go around a bunch of corners, it beats you.
Yeah.
But sounds better, looks better, you've got them beat. Hold on.
But I'll never compete against them.
Bob Marley, GHB. Oh boy. Bob Marley plays in the Welsh hockey rink over here. He's 79 years old. Bob Marley. Who doesn't like Bob Marley?
He's 79 years old?
Oh, source from Liverpool. Okay. you have good and bad in any family, old and young. Okay? Gang 1 says, that will be the chip shop boys, top flyers. All right. One thing I love about the English, and I've been there, because I'm not used to the slang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting it
A
here.
little slang, yeah.
I don't get the saying.
That's not slang.
No, it's the sayings. It's like
That's proper English.
Yeah, well, or their sayings. I don't get their sayings because we're a bit dumber here. A different slang.
We probably say something that they might think we're saying something funny.
Do one, William. Do one. But overall, I think that the season's was good. The one-loft season. I don't know why I brought that up, but I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I think tonight's show was good. Now tomorrow night we're going to show the winners. We're going to be on at 8:30. Special guest is going to be on. We're going to go through them. So it's going to be a special pioneer. A lot of winners, man. A lot of winners. We paid out a lot of prize money, a lot of small prizes. I think giving everybody a little taste of some winning, which is great. But a fun show. And guys, isn't it amazing? We come on the show, we communicate. Maybe we don't all see eye to eye, but we don't get crazy and carried away. And everyone keeps it positive. It gives it a positive tone. Are you guys all assholes? Absolutely. Am I a bigger asshole? 100%. That's what's okay about it.
I'm not really an asshole.
Well, you're you, and I'm me. We're having fun. We got people here from all over the world participating, which really means
people from the other side of the world.
Yeah, it's in the morning right now.
At this time.
Right.
It's late for me.
But early
those people, it's early, but you know.
And that's what we're doing here. We're tearing down bridges and we're building walls.
Just what out of what? Stone? Concrete.
Listen, did you see what the Egyptians did?
Yeah, I know.
They made pyramids. We don't even know how.
All I can say is I'm very happy with my Twisted Sisters and everything else.
Okay, one more thing before I wrap this up. We did the Budweiser. We did O'Hare's Irish. What was your favorite beer tonight, Ricky?
I can't really say. I think you have to have a taste for all of them.
Which one would you drink again?
I'd like to do it again next night.
You're an ass. Not trying to be a jerk, but how can someone call a family of birds by the origin all breeders and flyers when they've had, that one's gone, some cases 75 years? And again, what makes it your family?
I think what this person's saying is you're kind of insulting the old line of pigeons.
Right.
That's what he's saying. I understand what he's saying, but ask anyone here that's top-notch flying.
Right.
Not here, but in the world.
Right.
In the world.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them really how many direct out of the old blood do they really have. They say, well, my base pigeon is this, my base pigeon is that. Is it really? When did you get the base pigeon? I got it 5 years ago or 3 or 10 years ago. Well, wait a minute. That bloodline was, talk to Stefan Reed, was like 30, 40 years ago. Science, 50 years ago. And 50 years, the pigeons you got now, if you think they're science, they're not science. In that 50-year period, that stuff is so diluted from science, you won't believe it. If you talk to Cyan today, or they say Sion, talk to him today and say, come on in my loft. I got my family. It's all Cyan. He'd probably look at it and say, what?
Doesn't look like Cyan.
This is not my birds. Because it's 50 years, 30 years, 20 years of changing.
Yeah,
right.
There's a little bit more blood. Maybe let's say maybe Cyan likes a bigger pigeon, and you like a smaller pigeon. Well, so you start to.
I'm going to ask you the question. Cyan never had a Cyan. Why? because he had a pigeon, and his best friend was Jerry Morgan, who he borrowed a hen, which is the top hen, and put it to a pigeon and raised youngsters, and they flew well, and then he sold them, or what he did. Those aren't science. They're Jerry. And then the next year he had another friend. He got another bird. Same as Van Riet or any of them.
And if you look at the Van Riet pedigrees, now we're going to use Van Riet. I go to Belgium and they laugh at Van Riet, the name. In England, they were great pigeons. But if you looked in the family tree, there was different birds from different people. And this was a man saying, like we did tonight, we're going to take a little bit of Budweiser, we're going to put a little bit of this, we're going to put a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We just hit a grand slam.
But what beer is that? That's Ryan's beer.
Well,
Your beer.
Three different kinds of beer.
No. But you do that, and you make a beer, it all of a sudden becomes your beer.
All right, hold on. Okay. So, good night. Michael Peeler says good night all. Good night, Michael Peeler. The beer makes me sleepy. What pigeon won first award in 2021 in Denver? So I think the bird won the long distance award. Okay, good job. Totally agree with Ricky. So Bruce Dixon agreed with what you said about the families. Gang one. You have a natural breeding station, still got super birds, direct bloodlines, strong. They're from Desarts Breds. Okay, yeah. Bred by me. Again, we went to that natural breeding station. There has to be good pigeons there. There has to be. But there's 12,000 pigeons. There's 12,000 pigeons at the natural breeding station.
So if you go to one, I seen those signs there. That strain's got to be 50 years old.
Even more.
Even maybe more.
Yeah, well, almost 100 years old.
They were all mealies. They were all yellows. A lot of yellows, or
right.
Whatever you call it. And then it went like 30 years ago. No, 40 years ago. There was a lot of reds.
Right.
And blue bars and
powdery colors.
Right. So they were different already than the ones you see in the breeding station. The ones I seen in the breeding station were almost like orange color.
Right.
Right. I'm just saying. So you're taking but I'd like to go to a breeding station like that and say I want 3 pair of them.
Let's see how they do.
And I'm going to keep them together, keep them straight.
Right.
Let's really see how they do. I believe they won't do it. I believe. But if you take one cock out of that and put it to another out of an inbred line of something else, put it together, then you're going to see a difference. But the youngster, you can't call it a scion.
Can I ask you a question? If Scions developed a family of however he's done it over 10 years, okay, and he's won everything, and you go to his place, and you buy the pigeons, you buy babies off all of his winners, you take them home and you breed winners. The next year you breed winners. The next year you breed winners. The next year you breed winners. Are the Scions anymore?
They're not science.
Because you're gonna cultivate what you like. Maybe Scion didn't mind a bird with the tail that opened up, but you hate it. Maybe Scion liked the deeper pigeon, but you didn't like it. Maybe Scion didn't use eye sign, but you use it. So all those little things makes it not Scion no more.
That's right. Okay, the story about Staff Van Riet. He had pigeons, and he got a bird he had points at a feed store.
And we went and bought feed.
And he went and bought feed. He had so many points racked up. So, he had $100 in points. And they had on Saturdays, they had a little sale thing where people brought pigeons into the feed store.
He got a coupon to get a free pigeon.
To get a free pigeon. And he picked out a pigeon. What was the name? The Daniel?
No, the golden pair, whatever whatever it was, but that pigeon wasn't his.
No, yeah, he picked it out at the feed store. They had this win a pigeon, whatever. It had a bunch of guys bring pigeons. He picked one out. He liked it. Then he put it to what he had, and the next thing he got young ones that were flying great. Like, are they really Ben Reeds?
No,
I don't think any guy has a pure family of pigeons. I don't think. He's always a guy that's interested in going ahead. He always picks out
what he likes.
What he likes from somebody else.
I'm going to put A to Z and Q to R.
Right.
And see how it goes. Rob says, could cyan pigeons win on your course? Well, I don't have.
They did years ago.
Right, years ago.
But
reminder, guys, as the families of pigeons improve and people breed for more and more speed, those pigeons of slower airs have it harder. A 1969 Shelby GT500 in mint condition will not beat a Mustang, probably
2022. Even a Mustang GT.
Or a Mustang 6-liter won't beat it.
No, it won't beat it.
And it's not that the Shelby is a piece of shit. It's just geared differently. It's set up differently. It's lighter. It's built with different
fuel injection,
you name it all. Hit the nail on the head, said Bruce Dixon. So it is 11:25. Man, we've been on 2 hours again tonight.
What I want to do for future,
can't do any more beer.
I want to have an all-nighter show.
Like, you mean a Ricky marathon?
Yeah, we start at 8 and we finish at 8 in the morning.
A Ricky marathon.
Yeah, an all-nighter. An all-nighter.
We call it Ricky Live.
Yeah.
And what will you do in this show?
Just we're doing right now.
What do you guys think? Should we do a Ricky Live like one night? I think 6 in the PM.
Till 6 in the morning.
6, like a 12-hour Ricky Live. My butt's
an all-nighter. And,
do we drink beer or what do we do?
Oh, have you got a headache?
No, but I'm not feeling good. I'm just feeling like, I don't know, maybe the stout versus that fucking Harper shit's bad. Anyways, you know what, guys? We had a lot of fun tonight. We're going to be on tomorrow for a special Pioneer live show. I hope everyone tunes in to congratulate the winners. And remember, it's always good to say congratulations because the quicker you realize you're a loser, it helps you become a winner. And I love losing. When you learn to lose,
all I'm saying is say congratulations.
That's it.
To people
who finished
and say you did great.
Right.
And you're a good person. It's sometimes a little bit hard to walk up to a guy and say congratulations.
It makes you better though, doesn't it?
Makes you a better person.
And if you hate the guy, it makes you even a better guy.
Well, the guy knows you hate him, but when you walked up and said congratulations.
Yeah. And so tomorrow night on the goddamn show,
you're going to be congratulating me.
No, you're going to congratulate me. By the way, I hope you're here tomorrow for the show because you're getting old. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. But hey,
why are you jealous?
Well, I'm not jealous, but you're not Ricky 7 no more.
Hey, 5 years of old age pension.
Well, you got a lot of
better be jealous.
A little fragile, little man.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so we're gonna be on tomorrow 8:30. We're having a special guest on. I think it was fun tonight. We did a lot of good things. We tested the beers. I'm still going with Lafleur as the best one. O'Hare is second. Budweiser and Harper.
Right.
That's the same shit. Tomorrow night's a new night, new battle, new drinks.
I got to go out and get my chickens in.
Go get them in.
Still, get them in. For the coyotes, get them.
And that's a wrap. So,
and,
can I wrap it up? Happy Halloween to everyone. You guys got still 28 minutes if you're in North America to get out there and get trick-or-treating.
Get some trick-or-treating done.
Again, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, if you put them in the freezer and let them freeze for a day, they're tremendous.
They're so good. They're good for you.
They're good.
Peanuts.
Yeah,
and
peanuts.
By the way, my pigeons, they love these Reese's Pieces. I put them out there, and they love it.
Okay.
And
tomorrow you can congratulate
by the way,
what I did to you.
I have a few words to say. Remember, man, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. That's what I have to say. And also, keep your stick on the ice.
Boy, oh boy, Ricky. You've taken red, green, and Don Cherry and combined
That's it. That's good.
Guys, that's Ricky. I'm Ryan. Pioneer Family Show. It was a great show tonight. We're going to see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 again, to congratulate the winners. Good show. Good night. Thank you, Rosedale, Dixon, Rob, Gang One, all the rest of you. Remember, one more thing. You're all pricks and assholes, but you love flying pigeons, so it makes us all united as a family.
And also remember, happy trails to you until we meet again.
Harp did it. Yeah, the harp did it.